Yo, what's up, everybody? So I wanted to show you guys a product that we recently learned about after our last race with the Can-Am here. This is our 2021 X3 that we raced in some of the desert racing series out west here. And we had, during our last race, which was about 248 miles, we had what we thought was a carrier bearing failure. This is the drive shaft out of the car. And before the race, we had the Sandcraft carrier bearing, the upgraded one. So we figured that would take care of most of the issues with the stock drivetrain, at least hold together better than the factory one. So this is the actual bearing that's installed in here. And this installs by slipping over the drive shaft or prop shaft and pushing down. So you can see that little groove in there, right there. So that little groove, there's a spiral snap ring that they supply that goes in there. And what actually happened is, as opposed to the bearing inside of here failing, what happened was there's a little bit of play forward and backwards in the prop shaft, and during intense riding or racing, it can put enough force on it to basically take that little snap ring that's in here and pop that off. So what happened is the drive shaft or prop shaft got pulled back a little bit. It ended up popping off the snap ring that was in there and allowed the shaft to slip back a little bit, which then ended with the bearing and drive shaft banging around like this. So this is no fault of Sandcraft at all. They're just working with the factory design. But what I'm really impressed with is how well this held up. So this was the original bearing housing and carrier bearing setup that was in the car for the other 150 miles or so that we had to ride, while the prop shaft was partially popped out. So this thing, the whole time as you're going around, was banging around inside of here, and it actually, I assumed the whole thing was going to be destroyed but when we stopped the race, but it actually held up really well. So this is the original case. So all we did is go back to Sandcraft and have them pull out that bearing and replace it, because it probably received a little bit of damage and it's not all that expensive. So we decided to swap that out. The other thing that I learned about the new part is they have this thing. So this is a race collar. So this replaces that little, probably 2-cent little snap ring. And they make this. This is a part that they made to be able to fix that problem. So that replaces the little ring that goes in here. So let's see if I can put this together. The carrier bearing slides on. Then this will split and slide over the shaft here. You'll push it all the way down, and then you'll tighten the screws on here. And this will do a much better job once it's all tightened up of being able to hold that prop shaft in place. So even if there is a little bit of play forward and backwards, this is gonna hold it significantly better. So this is called their race collar. And they make this for Polaris, Can-Am, for factory prop shafts, as well as their aftermarket Sandcraft prop shaft. So anybody who's riding really hard in the desert or who is racing and cannot afford a failure, this is definitely a piece, right? I think this is all $40. It's a good little piece of insurance, especially if you're already gonna have this whole thing pulled out to do the carrier bearing. You might as well get one of these while you're at it. Nice billet piece, needs a 4mm Allen to be able to tighten this up. And you just tighten that around the shoulder on the prop shaft there, and that's gonna keep this from sliding up at all. So really, really awesome product from Sandcraft. And I'm glad that we had this, and really the ultimate answer is we're gonna end up swapping out the prop shaft to their in-house made one. It's all chromoly tube, much heavier wall thickness, definitely what you want, because it's also balanced much better than the factory one, whereas these factory shafts do have a little bit of inherent vibration, which probably also caused the failure that we had. But this will do for the meantime until we can get the actual prop shaft upgraded. Thanks for checking it out.